All right, let's go ahead and get up our user interface we've been using for this. And let's talk about alignment. So the simplest possible definition that I could personally come up for alignment as it pertains to UI design is that it provides structure and flow to a layout. And I'm going to demonstrate how this is and why it is so very important to get alignment right, as it is with any of the other fundamentals. So here is our design that we've been working with. And alignment is really invisible, vertical, and horizontal lines that you can find throughout a layout that is at least structured well in terms of alignment. And this is a very simple layout. We don't have many elements, but there are still invisible horizontal lines and vertical lines that you can't see, but is defined by the way in which these elements are laid out. So the first one can be seen here. So you can see this T. Most of this T you can see is really, it's not invisible, the line right here, because it's all against this T right here, the side of the T. And it really helps create a starting point for elements that may occur underneath it. And we can see there's another one right here. Another one could be right here where the end of these dashes also end and they're equal. And this helps create a flow and a structure with the design. So we can break this and I can show you what it looks like with bad alignment. So here's a good example of alignment that's kind of all over the place. And every time you offset one of your elements, you're kind of creating another vertical row in this context. So let's see, we have all of these different rows created. This T right here, the very beginning of this dash right here, the beginning of the dash right here, the beginning of this paragraph, and then the beginning of this book, a trip. So when we bring it all back together, it just flows so much better. Now, of course, this is kind of a difficult example for you to really see because it's so simple, but let's switch off to a different example. Right here, I would say that this has bad alignment. Everything else is going for it though in terms of UI design fundamentals. It has good contrast, it has good typography, it has good visual hierarchy, good white space all around, but the alignment in multiple areas is incorrect and inconsistent. All right, so how is that so? Let's go ahead and first fix the first thing. We have a pattern established here because we have a headline here and a headline right here because they're both the same exact size. They're styled exactly the same and they have the same purpose as being headers. But one is centered up here and the other one is left aligned. You need to pick an option and stick with it so that you apply this particular fundamental of alignment consistently. And so consistency is also very important for all the other UI design fundamentals. How you're using your colors, how you're applying your contrast, it should be consistent throughout. All right, so let's get these fixed up. All right, also notice that this button moved over. So everything now starts on this single vertical line. If I go back, you could see how it was slightly offset. And I see newcomers do this all the time. For some reason, some elements will be off and not positioned as they should. So we move this over here to the left, which begins right here on the side of this card, and then this we push over as well. So that's the first fix. Now, what else could we fix? Well, we can see inside where it says this icon and it says watch now. It's not centered. It's not here defined right on this left side where it definitely could be. So it's kind of just misplaced. And then over here, we have the same element from this pattern that's created by these cards, but it's right aligned. Inconsistent. It's not good for the flow of the layout. So if we wanted to fix all these, we would push them all over to the left, or you could push them all over to the right, just so that they are all consistently applied in terms of your alignment. So that's where we were, and this is where we went. And you can just see the dramatic difference between the two. All right, so this example, we can see that we have cards of different heights. All right, and this is caused sometimes because of like a description or a title that has gone an extra row below. And so this has 3 lines, this one has 4, and this has 3. This right here flows off the flow of the layout. So the way I would fix it first is to drop down these and then also drop what is supposed to be at the bottom, which is the watch now, down here as well, just like that. So this is significantly better, a better approach than having just an uneven aligned amount of cards. So here's a final example. So I see this a lot when it comes to navigations and such. And right here we have 2 different columns. And the right column we have center aligned text. So this first column has these icons which are all exactly the same size. And this text, when it is centered against something that we have, like in this context, a single vertical line that is established here from the alignment, you don't want to have this text being centered because now we have a vertical line established here, here, here at the beginning of each of these letters. So the ideal fix is just to left align it against this vertical line that's created here from the alignment. So we're going from that to this. And so that's the crucial role of alignment when it comes to UI design fundamentals. Of course, there's many other examples, and we're going to get our feet wet by practicing alignment with, of course, all of the other UI design fundamentals.